So I would love to welcome everyone to the Sales Show. I'm really excited about today's episode because we have the beautiful Deb on today. Deb is a marketing strategist, video coach, and podcast host who empowers business owners to create engaging content marketing so that they can build their brand, connect with their audience, and drive sales. And we're all about the driving of the sales, right? Deb understands what motivates buyers' behavior and is an adored. Let's redo that. How do I pronounce that?
What is it? What is it?
You've got it as an adored advocate.
Oh, no, I'm just a big advocate. I'm
Right.
just a big advocate for video.
Just a big freaking advocate. Okay, let me redo that as well.
Ardent. I think
Ardent.
that's probably meant to say, as in, I'm really passionate about using video.
Okay, great. All right. So I would love to welcome you all to the Sales Show. I'm really pumped about today's episode. We have the beautiful Deb. Let me tell you a little bit about Deb. Deb is a marketing strategist, video coach, and podcast host who empowers business owners to create engaging content marketing so that they can build their brand, connect with their audience, and drive sales. We love the driving of sales. Deb understands what motivates buyers' behavior and is a huge advocate of using video to help tell your unique story. Deb has been doing this through 3 decades in working in both marketing and media, and she's embraced the evolution of the digital world, which I absolutely love. Deb also has the ability to to show people how to talk about their audience anywhere in the world, anytime. Love it. Deb is a self-confessed tech nerd, and I love watching Deb on social media because she always talks about the new gadgets and all that sort of fun stuff, what works, great mics, video, all that sort of stuff. So I love it. And she is the creator of the Content Catalyst membership, where she gives the strategies and tools so you know what content to make, how to create it, and where to share it so that you have that credibility. So I love that. Welcome to the Sales Show today, Deb. So good to have you.
Thank you, Marie, for having me. Wow, that sounded like an intro and a half.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I know how passionate you are about video because we have been kicking around for a little while now. And every time I see you at events and things like that, you are like content queen. And I always look at you and think, oh man, I probably should be doing some of that stuff. But for me, it doesn't necessarily come naturally. So I would love to understand how do you create that relationship between creating the content and making sure that it is high converting so that we are getting those sales across, because I'm all about creating things that are effective and efficient and optimized for sales. So tell me how you do that from a video and content creation point of view.
Thank you for having me, Marie. So, look, one of the things that, if I backtrack, I've been doing sales since, I was a teenager, and it's one of those things that I've had a lot of training with. And I felt over the evolution, I guess, of the years, when you can stand in front of somebody and tell them what you do, then you create engagement, you create interest, and you can create action. Yeah. And what I found is over the years is that we had this incredible tool, being our phone, in our pocket. And apart from standing in front of somebody, video is the next best thing for us to be able to do that. And over the years in business, I started using video, and of course we think of social media when we think of video, and a majority of us do use video in that way. But I also started including it across my content marketing. So on my emails, on my websites, on the sales pages when you were offering a new product and things like that. So it is such a powerful tool that we all have in our pocket. And as I mentioned, it's the next best thing from standing in front of somebody that you can create a relationship with.
Absolutely. And so what would you say is, like, even if it's a couple of tips about what people need to really understand or nail or even just give a crack at? Because I know for me, when I first started in business, the idea of visually showing up was freaking scary. I started my first business as an e-commerce business because I didn't have to see people, and the introvert in me loved being able to hide behind the computer or the camera type thing. So for those people that may not be 100% comfortable with it or aren't sure exactly what their first best steps would be, what would that be? What would that look like from you?
For me, it's about understanding your ideal person. And when you understand, one, your core offer, what you're offering,
yes,
and then you understand who you're speaking to, who's that person that you want to sell your product to and who needs your product, then you create what I call a vivid story. And it is the process, it's a framework that I've developed where we go through the exercise of we visualize that one person of what they need, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what is their motivation, what's their inspirations. And then we look at our solution, that what we provide in that transformation. When you do that exercise, it just becomes so easy for you to then get to that next step of going, it's not about me selling something, it's about me providing the solution that you need and how to effectively communicate that. The next part of being able to communicate that is when you are, especially an introvert, and like pressing record on the camera, is thinking of just that one person rather than thousands of people.
Yeah.
And I look at my lens here now and I'm looking at you and I think of that person anytime that I look down my lens and I press record. I don't think of the thousands of people. I just think of that one person, like we're sitting here having a conversation. And that's why you'll often see me do lives and stories on Instagram, just having a chat, having a chat.
Love it. I find that like I'm huge on making sure that you're really clear on your ideal client, who I call my Sally, or I say to my clients, who is your Sally? What is Sally saying, thinking, feeling like deep down, right?
Yeah.
And it's understanding how Sally needs to be spoken to and connected with. And I really love that you nail that and you talk about that through everything that you do as well. Tell me, do you feel like your video content is top of bringing people in, or do you feel like it goes all the way through your sales process and system?
It's a bit of both, because like today, I'm planning out my June content, for example, but I already know what that is. And when I come to that, it starts with my annual plan. So each month I have a theme, I have a topic, an umbrella, but then I'll also have my weekly content as well. So when you know that big umbrella point, it makes it so much easier to have your content categories that are relating back and tailored to that ideal person.
Yes.
So then when you press record, it doesn't matter whether it's in Instagram, in LinkedIn, on YouTube, everything has a flow, continuity to it that all roads lead back to our website, which is our shop, or if you have a physical location, in your front door to talk.
Yeah, I love that. And I also find that if people are clear on what I call my cash calendar. So, and I say this to a lot of my clients, what are you selling? How are you selling it? When are you selling it? What sales assets, all that sort of stuff do you need? Yeah. And then we add in the marketing and the content creation around that, rather than just creating content for the sake of it, or such and such told me that I've got to do a post today. And you're like, yeah, but are we just showing up for the sake of it? Like, what are we doing to connect with our Sally, and how does that connection go through our complete sales process so that people are clear on what we do, how we do it, why they would work with us, and get a really good vibe of us as well, I think, too, which is a huge credibility builder too. So brilliant. Love it.
So one of the things with what I do is I teach people how they can use one hero video and turn that into 15 to 20 pieces of content marketing easily. Yes. Now, when I start with that funnel process, the first thing that's on the list is know what your lead magnet is. Yep. Know what your call to action is. And that is the first thing that I start with when I design the strategy, the campaign, the planning of your content. So, for example, for June, I'm focusing in Content Catalyst. My membership is all about personal branding, how to turn up on camera. So I need to look at what is my call to action. Where do I want people to come into based on the content that I'm going to be sharing? So this month, you said I was talking about, microphones and things like that, because my topic for this month was all tech and gear. So everything funneled back into here, I'm demonstrating microphones, here I'm demonstrating webcams. And then I'm going to funnel you back to here's my guide. Here is my tech guide. Here's my gear guide. And then that gives you the tools then of knowing where to come and act on what I have to offer.
Yeah. I would even go a step before that and say, what is it that I'm selling first to then lead people?
Oh, 100%.
Lead magnet. Yeah, beautiful.
Always. Absolutely. That to me is a given for sure. Because if you don't know your core offer that you're offering for that, then all the lead magnets are no good if they don't relate back to what you're actually selling. Right?
Yeah, totally. What do you see as some of the biggest mistakes that people make around creating their content or their online digital marketing space?
Look, I think the biggest thing is not talking to their audience, and again, thinking about that one person, having a conversation. So selling to me on social media is about being social. And if you share valuable content with people that helps them, you're not there saying, hey, buy my thing every other day. You're leading them to the path of, you've built a relationship, and then I've built that trust with them that they can go, when I think of I need this, I'm going to think of that person. Then I come back around to, I think the biggest mistake is when we show up, if we're not showing up ourselves, we're trying to emulate someone else.
Yeah. That's been a really big eye-opener for me over the past, say, 18 months when I've worked with people once they've come what I call behind the curtain and actually started working one-on-one, and we're getting like belly to belly, digging in, pulling apart businesses, putting together sales strategies and stuff. They'll say to me things like, wow, Marie, you're so different online compared to what you are behind the scenes. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I think for me, that comes from being in such a corporate world and feeling like everything has to be polished and perfect.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't polished and perfect, I didn't want to show up. I didn't want to do it. I avoided it.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, well, this is me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to love me. You don't have to follow me or engage in any of my stuff. But I'm also not going to stop showing up because everything needed to be perfect. So I love that. What do you...
Sorry, I was just going to add to that as well. That is one of the reasons why you'll often see me turn up on lives and stories with my cap and my running gear with no makeup and things, because this is the real me. This is what really goes on behind the scenes. There can be 10 people lined up selling exactly the same thing. The reason why somebody will choose you over somebody else is because of the way you do it, the way you say it, the way that you come across. And people will find, and this is why sharing information in your stories and things is so empowering, because if they turn around, they go, oh, I know Deb loves Chardonnay, for example. And then it's like, I love Chardonnay. And then all of a sudden there's a connection there of going, there's something that we've got in common. That can be often just the one reason why somebody chooses that person over that person, just because they've got something in common that they find that they're like, I like that person. They're on my level. And that's why it's so important to be you in all the things. You need to adapt. Like when you're saying you're working in corporate, we turn up in our suits, we've got to have this professional, persona. But one of the things that I learned years ago when I started my career in radio, I had this incredible training from a guy called Alan Pease who did body language, right? Have you heard of him?
I absolutely have. I've studied a lot of his stuff as well.
Love it, love it, love it. And we were talking about the different personas there on how to sell to those people, right? So you've got, they call it different things now, but of course, he used the word of the director, the expressive, the thinker, and the relator, right? So these 4 different personalities. You would never walk into a, director and be all fluffy and, flap about. Yeah, exactly. It's like, get to the point. What do you need? Da, da, da. Same as you would never walk into a relator doing that, because they'd be like, oh my God, like if I walked in and went, this is the black and white, they'd be like, hang on, whoa, I need to feel it first, right? It's like this is some of the things that when you, and it's not about you being fake or anything like that. It's about you adapting to the person who's in front of you. And when you ask questions face to face, it has the opportunity to find out what they really need so you can provide a solution to them. When you don't do that, because you can't stand in front of them, when you're online, for example, in an online space, say on social media, you have this wonderful opportunity to still ask those questions and get to know your audience by asking them questions. And that is why, again, I'll go back to Instagram stories. It's such a powerful place to have conversations with your audience and get to know them.
Absolutely.
Mm.
I also found that I would see people outside of work, say, for example,
Yeah.
being a mum of 2 kids, you'd see people at the shops or you'd see people at soccer training, which is what happened to me a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the only way I had known this lady was through a professional relationship.
Yeah,
And here I
right.
was in full mum mode, hoodie on. It's Tuesday night. It's cold.
Yeah.
There's kids running everywhere. But I
Yeah.
was still able to connect with her on that level of like, how's everything going? Because it's still me. But man, it's taken me a long time to acknowledge that that's where I was at. And I feel like if we can be so okay with who we are and showing up in that space online, I think it's really, really powerful. Not always easy, but really, really powerful.
Small steps.
Absolutely. What do you feel like from a sales perspective is the best way to sell when it comes to using your video content?
One of the things that I think is so powerful is showing people, demonstrating.
Right.
So if you can come in, I can sit here, and last week I did a microphone test, and I can sit here, right? And I can sit here black and blue in my face and going, you really need to spend, $280 on a microphone, and be like, what? No way. What? And so when I can show you the difference of things, I don't need to sell, because then you will make up your own. And if I can demonstrate the fit, like why this does this and why that and how that works, and then you understand the benefits of this versus that, then it makes it easy for people to make their decision.
Yeah, I'm huge about talking about the benefits of even just why someone would work with you. So many people these days just go into the features of what they do.
Yeah.
This is my membership. This is what it does. This is why you should do it. Rah, rah. And I'm like, that's not selling. That for me is a form of advertising.
Yeah.
And advertising and selling, in my eyes, advertising, marketing, and sales, completely different chunks of the business game. And so the way that you demonstrate that, I think, is beautiful. Like, it even got me going, right, I need to go and watch that video. I'm like, what's my sound quality like? But I also wonder, I know there was a stage when I first started out in my consulting firm that I was like, do I need to go and spend $400 on a microphone? Or was my first thing to just get out there, start creating the sales, create that relationship, and then know that I don't need to have all the bells and whistles straight up. If I can do the best with what I've got and make decisions based around where I'm sitting and what feels comfortable, I think that that's really cool as well.
Sorry, Mary, I was just going to add to that is that is one of the reasons why I went and picked a $39 microphone from Kmart. Why? Because I can go into the shops, I can pick it off the shelf. I don't have to wait 2 weeks for it to get delivered.
Yes.
And then, and the reason why I chose that as well is so many people wanting to appear as a guest on a podcast like what we're doing now, or they want to appear as a presenter in a masterclass, or they just want to do online Zoom meetings with their clients. You need to have a level of professionalism. It's like you wouldn't walk into a sales meeting with, your thongs and your sarong on. So you're going to level up. It's the same, unless you're in, tropical destination on holidays. But it's like, it's the same thing when you go into a Zoom meeting online. If you can make those little tweaks to how you present, you don't need to spend $300 on a microphone. You can spend $39, but turn up as a guest on someone's podcast and look professional and sound professional, because then that gives you the best thing. And that's why I did what I did, was because I'm like, you don't need to spend a lot of money. However, one of the biggest turn-off I hear is bad audio.
Absolutely. You don't
Because
want to
then you can't, you don't want to listen to it, but you can't, as the host, you can't repurpose it like you can if you had good audio. So that's why I do encourage people, just go and get yourself a basic microphone to just level up that little bit more if you want to be a guest on other people's shows, and, you know, even just have good Zoom online meetings, sales meetings.
Yeah. I think the other thing I used to joke about was people's backgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
And so I remember I used to jump on calls with people. And even if when I was first starting out and I needed other people's services, and I'd be like, yeah, let me see, like, let's jump on a call and see if this is a good fit. And in their background was so much stuff. And all I kept, I'm easily distracted. I'm the like, oh, squirrel, like, what's going on over there? And so I was like, man, just that impact on the sale and the visual side of it too. I was like, I can't even focus on what you're saying to me because I'm so distracted by what's going on behind you.
Yeah.
So
and to take that step further, and we saw this over, you know, the lockdown periods in 2020, is I'm staring at you in your room with your bed in the background. I don't need to see your bed. Turn your computer around, you face the bed, and I'll look at the wall. Like that, just little simple things like that. And I know a lot of people are in small apartments and things that had to do that. Just turn your bed around. It's like turn your computer around.
Or do something.
Yeah.
Love it. So what is the most powerful technique that you either use or you see other people use around video content and amplifying it from a sales perspective?
Yeah. One of the things is just turning up and having a conversation with people. And Marie, I walk in my desk every day, and I'll show you this on screen for anyone that's seeing it. I've got a tripod here. My phone sits on it straight away, and it sits right beside me in the morning. And that's my prompt to just click record and just have a conversation and share what I'm doing, and just think about, I want to build relationships with people on the other side of the camera. So I just have a little chat. And so from that, when I do sell something, like at the moment, I'm about to do some webinars and some workshops. When I do say, hey, this is what I've got, and I'm in sales mode, like if I'm launching something, I've already built that rapport with people that they're like, yeah, I'm interested in that. Yeah, actually, I do want to do that. I'm not just popping out of the blue going, hey, buy me now. So I've just, you know, I'm just constantly ticking along, just having a chat, getting to know people. Relationships for me are one of the most important things. Apart from showing people what you do and demonstrating the things, it's about just continuing that relationship, because people may not buy from you for months, even years. But when they do, they will recommend you, they will refer you, and they will be your biggest advocate if you just communicate authentically with what you do consistently.
Absolutely. I think a really big part of that is also people's messaging. And once they're so clear on their messaging, people find it so easy to say, oh, you need help with your video and content creation stuff? Go and chat to Deb. She's brilliant at it. Yeah. I think having the tripod on your desk is an amazing tip. I don't do it enough. Mine sits put away. I need to do that. I really need to get that out and just, connect a lot more in that space. So that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about what made you start your membership, the Content Catalyst membership.
Well, it started last year. I did an online course and it went for 6 weeks. I taught it live, and it was literally video essentials for social media, because I was seeing that people were struggling with turning up online. They didn't know what to say. You click the thing and they'd be like, hey guys, I am. And if I could help them just get past and step them through the basics, then hopefully they could just turn up a bit more confidently and help communicate what they did. Because one of my biggest things is to help people tell their unique story, because my goodness, I meet some incredible people that do some incredible things, but they're not telling anyone they do it. And I just want to help them to go, if you just told people what you did, you could help so many more people. And that was a 6-week course. And then I found that it was like it wasn't long enough. People needed more. So this year in April, I launched Content Catalyst, which is a monthly membership. And I wanted to create a marketing hub where people could come into. We do one masterclass a month where we learn our key topic. So this month, for example, we did tech and gear. Last month was strategy and planning. Then we do a workroom the following week, so we implement and take action of what we've learned. Because if you don't take action, you don't get results. And then the following week, we do an editing workroom. So every month we do an editing workroom where yesterday was just CapCut basics. And because I know that the sooner you get your message out there, the sooner that you can help people. And that was why I was like, okay, so each month we then grow on the next topic on the next topic. So it's a marketing hub where it's community based as well, because together we all help each other and support each other. And you've got your cheer squad and accountability. And then you've got all the resources. So when you get to that point, often what keeps us stuck is something really small.
Yeah.
And it stops us getting really big results. So that's what I wanted to create, was that hub that they could come into that was affordable, marketing mentor in your pocket, basically.
I feel like we're so aligned with that.
Yeah.
Even when I was looking at how else can I help more people and really get women to understand what they need to do to boost their business, increase their sales, help more people. I remember being at a conference and there was probably 40 or 50 people in the room. Everyone went around the room and spoke about what they do, what their biggest challenges are, all that sort of fun stuff. Typical kind of networky type stuff.
Yeah.
And people would be like, I just need more clients, or I need more sales, or I need this. And I was like, you just need to learn to sell it.
Yes.
You're amazing at what you do. There would be nothing that could have been brought into that room that couldn't be fixed.
Yeah.
There was marketing, there was doctors, there was legal, there was hospitality, there was teachers, there was so many amazing women, and they were all sitting there / standing there saying the same thing. And I just had this urge of like, oh my God, just sell it, like learn to sell it.
Yeah.
Show people why they should work with you.
Yeah.
Show people the benefits of working with you, that transformation and what the real results are that you can get. So I completely understand that from creating that offer based around what people are needing, rather than going, I think that people need this.
And you should.
Yeah.
If you've got should in your sentence, then you shouldn't be doing it.
So many people do that. They go, I want to create a membership, or I want to create a course. And so they put into it what they think needs to go into it. And then they go and try and find people to sell it to.
Yeah.
Find the people, figure out what their challenges are, and then create the solution around it. So beautiful. And I know you have a workshop coming up in the next couple of weeks. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the workshop is based on a lot of people. So we go back to step one. Step one is always strategy.
Love it.
Gotta have strategy, then you can plan.
Yes.
So today I'm going to be doing out I'm going to plan a month's worth of content in like 30 minutes. And that is because I know I've got all my structure in place. So I can sit there and go, right, here's my topics. Once I've planned, then I research and then I record.
Love it.
So this is the biggest thing you mentioned about a room full of women, about they've got all this stuff. The thing is, and I do this myself, I work with professionals to get me unstuck. And the reason is often we're so close to our business, we cannot see, we can't read the label from inside the jam jar. Okay. And so I work with people to help articulate my messaging, because it's something I always go back and fine tune. So even if you are a professional, working with someone like yourself is so powerful, because it helps people to be able to extract out of us, because we all hate talking about ourselves. Like I find it hard to, write my bio and go, I'm this. So I go back to how can I help you? So working with somebody is so powerful to just help solidify what you do and get crystal clear on how, like, it's like a swimmer training for the Olympics will work with a swim coach. They know how to swim, right?
Absolutely.
But if you can actually have somebody working beside you to going, I'm fine-tuning your technique, I am, helping with your timing, and I'm keeping you focused and accountable, that's when you start getting big rewards.
Yeah.
And when I talk, I'm going to actually say to you, here's the reason why you shouldn't have this. Because if you're this, and this isn't right for you. But if you are this, then this is right for you. Going back to when I first started in sales, and I think the reason why sales has such a, can have a seedy connotation
It's
and
the
why we get
dirty word,
scared, the
apparently.
dirty word. It's because when I first started in sales, I was surrounded by, the boys club, and it was, go out there and buy these ads and do this. And I was looking at these guys going, but it's more than just to schedule on a bit of paper of buying some ads. It's a solution. And so my approach was I would go, and then was handed these clients these guys had been trying for years to get on board. And then I came in, completely different approach, green as, mind you, but I just came in with going, tell me what you need. And then I would present things based on what I would see and hear, and then tell me. And that's how I ended up getting more rewards of them coming on board and advertising with us. And the reason is because I listened and asked questions.
Sales 101, baby. Ask
Right?
questions
Such
and
a
listen.
simple thing. And
Yeah.
and this is why if you're so scared of selling what you do, it's really about coming back to the mindset of what you think sales is. If I think sales is a dirty word, and if I think I can't handle rejection and all the things, where I'm sitting here going, not everyone's going to buy my product. I just want the person who needs me, that I can help, to work with me. And if I can show you and tell you and demonstrate to you how I can help you, and this is why for when you sell, if you can do that for your audience, then it's not a dirty word. You actually become their savior, because you're exactly what they need. And you
Yeah.
just got to learn to articulate your communication on how you do that.
When I've had clients that have had challenges around their mindset or thinking, no, I'm not in sales. I didn't start a business to be in
Yeah,
sales. You're a business owner, you're a salesperson. I would say that
exactly.
99% of people in a business are a
Mm,
salesperson. If you go
absolutely.
out somewhere and you are talking about your job and
Mm,
someone says, oh, tell me about your job, or what do you do for work? And someone is bad mouthing the company, that is impacting on a sales perspective. You are giving someone a point of view on the business overall.
yeah.
If you feel like you are challenged from the mindset perspective, I
Mm,
always say to my clients, look at it as you are helping them and serving them. Because if
yes.
you don't serve them, they'll go and find someone else that will. They'll go and find someone that has overcome that mindset and said, do you know what? They may say no, and that's okay. But
Mm.
here I know from my heart of hearts that I can help people move forward. I know I'm good at what I do. I know I can help people get those results. So I think that that's beautiful. And I
And
love that
And,
the
and in saying that, Marie, it's not about who has the best product or service. It's who talks the loudest. And unfortunately, if you don't tell people how freaking great you are, somebody else with not the greatest product or service will come in, swoop in, and take that person. And you're there going, but why? That's just no, don't
yeah,
know.
we've all bought that thing, right? We've all bought
Right?
that thing that was like, this is going to be
Yes.
amazing. And then you get into it, you're like, this is not doing what I thought it would do.
Mhm.
But they've been the people that have had the guts to get out there and be like, this is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do. And you go, wow, maybe it is what I need. And then it's not. So your job as the business owner and as someone that is wanting to help more people make an impact, make more income,
Mm,
is to get out there and see who else you can serve. I
yeah.
love and the reason why I wanted to bring you onto the sales show today was because I feel like the content marketing side of
Mm,
it mixed in with a really great, sexy sales strategy that is optimized for selling,
mhm.
that is really clear. People know how to work with you, why
Yeah.
they will work with you, the benefits, all of that
Yeah.
is just a
Hand
beautiful
in hand. It's
marriage.
harmony. Yeah, it is harmony, because so many people that I work with don't have that in place. And it just takes, so I'll come in and I'm like, okay, they've bought this, but because my head goes into, my training, it's like, I can't help you to do this until we do that first. And if you've done that work with them, it just makes the impact so much more potent when they actually do come into Content Catalyst and they do the next stages of their journey. You will get so much greater results in such a short amount of time. And I talk about that of fast tracking the buyer journey.
Love that.
Mm.
I say to people when they say, a lot of people come to me and be like, I need more leads, I need more inquiries, I need more sales. Great. Come on in. Let's sit down and have a chat. Once we have a chat and I say to them things like, tell me about your database, tell me about, you know, how many people have you got on your social media? What does that look like?
Yeah.
It doesn't always equal the same. Like having thousands of people on your database doesn't equal thousands of sales.
No.
What I find is I say to people, turn off the marketing tap just for a minute while you sort out your sales process, because then once you turn on your marketing tap, your sales process is high converting. Everyone that goes through and experiences your business has a better chance of buying from you because you're so clear on how you step them through your business.
Yeah.
So I think that's
absolutely. It's like opening up a coffee shop and not having coffee beans.
No. But they're getting everyone to come in without having the coffee ready. And I'm like, stop doing it.
Yeah.
You're wasting time, you're wasting money, you're wasting energy.
But you're missing that one essential ingredient, the coffee beans. You can't make coffee without the beans.
Yeah.
You can put water in the cup and you can hand them a cup and charge them the money, but you're not going to make coffee without the coffee beans. And that's that understanding the sales process and then following it through to then communicating that. It's really potent.
Love it. So before we wrap up, give me 3 things that people can implement straight away after listening to us having a chat today. I know for me, one of the things is the handy dandy phone. You're going to say phone. No, I'm saying tripod. I'm literally going to get my tripod out.
Yes.
And leave it on my desk and be like, right, Marie, you need to make friends with the tripod.
Yes.
So
that's a trigger. That's a great trigger. Having something to hold your phone up is fantastic. But even if you don't have something to hold up your phone, and in fact, if you go and have a look at one of my reels, I've got 3 examples there of like humorous ways of holding up your phone. But it's really about pulling this out. Everyone's got one in their pocket these days, and everyone has got a sensational 4K camera. You can talk to anyone, anywhere in the world at any time by picking this up. And if you have done the work with you and they know their messaging, then getting out there and start to share it with people just by pressing record. And if you are terrified at that, then just start with daily stories in Instagram because it lasts for 24 hours. And we know that when we practice things, we get better. It's about progress.
Yes.
And if you can make 50 bad videos, by the time you get to your 51st, you're going to be making good ones. So let yourself off the hook. Like cringy material, you have to get past the cringe. Like everyone's, I hate looking at myself on camera. Well, then don't. I hate listening to myself on camera. Yep. Just move on. Just move on.
Yeah.
But if you think of it like we're just having a conversation now, think you're one person on here.
Love it.
And just turn up every day. Practice it every day. And even if you don't post it on social media, just practice on your video. Just get used to doing that every day. It's like a muscle at the gym. You're working your biceps, turn up and say something every day. And if you don't know what to say, then come back to working with us, basically. we can help you with that.
We can show you what you need to be talking about. Love that.
So, that's number 1.
Yep. Pick up your phone and create more
press record.
Yep.
Get something to hold your phone up so that way it becomes a trigger every day to just go. Like I said, and if you can do it on a budget, I've got a gear guide on my website that you can set up all your essentials for under $100.
Love it.
So you don't need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this. You need some good audio. You need something to light you up and something to hold your phone up, and off you go. And until you do that, just pick up your phone and press record.
Perfect. And we'll have a link in the show notes for that guide. So perfect. So that would be step 1, or one thing to implement. What would be a second thing?
I would have to say, again, I'll come back to, you've got to have a strategy. No, and I work with a lot of people that go, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. I've been making content forever and it's not connecting. You've got to have a strategy. Know what, that is probably the most important thing. Is there's no point in showing up if you don't know what you're talking about and who you're talking to.
Awesome. Okay. So we're going to pick up our phone. We're going to have I was going to say a sales strategy. Yes, have a sales strategy, but also have a video content and marketing strategy. Yep.
Yeah.
What would
Make
be that?
it easy. Make it easy for people to buy from you. Calls to action. Like
Yeah.
that is probably one of the things when I go into a shop, when I go online, anywhere I go, make it easy for people to find you and buy from you. I don't want to have to go looking for the till. Like, where's the cash register? Like I was in a shop the other day and I'm like, where the hell do I check out of here? I don't know.
Someone take my money.
Just someone take my money. Exactly. So make it easy. Make it easy for people to buy, and clearly show what you do.
Beautiful. Awesome. So would that be the 3 that you'd highly recommend?
Yes, absolutely. Press record, know your strategy, make it easy for people to buy.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on here today, Deb. I've loved our chat.
So much.
And I feel like, as I said, our topics and our passions align so beautifully when it comes to business. So thank you so much for your time. And if you would like to find Deb, we will have all our links in the show notes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all soon, or hearing or speaking to you all soon, I should say, if you don't see us, if you're listening to us in your ears. But thank you so much, Deb, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Marie. Bye.